Hey everybody, long time no see. First I would just like to say that this machine here is now working. Turned out there was a problem with the latest BIOS, we just downgraded and now everything's alright. But today I'm going to be reviewing this. The Commodore C16, widely regarded as the worst machine Commodore ever made. Released in 1985 to replace Commodore's aging VIC-20, which came out in 1980. It had 16K RAM, hence Commodore 16. But it wasn't just a C64 with less memory. It had completely redesigned hardware, a slightly different processor, and a coprocessor called the TED, which did audio, video, and I/O. This was designed to compete with sub $100 computers in the United States, such as Texas Instruments TI-99 series, other Timex computers, etc. Though it was a complete flop because all of those companies withdrew from the market just as this was about to be released, and there wasn't a lot of support for it in the States, so it completely bombed, and they shipped the rest of the units over to Europe, where it developed a rather respectable following. More incompatibilities with the C64 here. It does not use Atari compatible DB9 plugs, it uses mini DINs, which would be rather a problem, though there were adapters released that, you know, plug into here and then you could plug your standard Atari joystick in there. Here we've got a different cartridge port, which I believe is compatible with the 2600 from Atari. You'd have to load in a separate program which would interpret what was on the cartridge. You've got RF, standard, DIN, video and serial. Now that would be for printers, disk drives, that sort of thing. And another mini DIN for the cassette drive, which was black to match the unit. Now, aesthetically, it looks almost exactly the same as the C64, just with just in black. I have to say this is a rather nice colour, but like I said, it was very different internally. It had 121 colours compared to the C64's 16, though, but it was kind of cheating. It was just the standard 16 colours with different variations of, you know, luminosity, etc. And they had flashing colours as well. It had a different operating system, Commodore Basic version 3.5 compared to Commodore Basic version 2 in the C64 and the VIC-20. This was far superior, but because of the limited hardware, it wasn't really taken advantage of. And one of the main things that put developers off writing software for this was the lack of hardware sprites. And sprites are like the little bitmap graphics, you know, that go on the screen, etc. It was very hard to program them in software, so most just stayed away. There was a very sizable collection of games released for it in Europe. I'm going to review some for you today. This unit was made in England, and it's got a fairly high serial number, 317,947. Yeah, nowhere near the popularity of the VIC-20 or the C64. Now the joysticks for the unit are very odd. They look nice, and I agree with Steve Benway that they're very precise. They do exactly what you want to do, pretty much. But they do feel a little bit sort of flimsy and fragile. And they've got an annoying. I prefer having the button here for my index finger rather than at the top, because it's better than nothing. It's very, very compact. It's quite light as well compared to some of the other ones that were available. Then we have the dataset unit over here, which at the minute I've taken the cover off so I can put in this thing here, which allows me to plug the dataset into my computer and run off WAV files that have been recorded off program tapes. etc. This is a very good way of running software off any machine that uses tapes. It means you don't have to hunt around for new games and software and stuff. All you've got to do is download them from the internet and run them via one of these things. Or you can just record it to tape. Anyway, there were, like I said, there were also disk drives available for it, but you could use the standard Commodore 1541 drive. So I'll just get it all set up and we can have a look. Here we have the unit on. I'd just like to point out that this is on my fairly new digital LCD high definition television here, which is actually very surprising because every other computer I've tried to run on this thing has had appalling picture quality, even when I've been using SCART, like with my Dragon 32, so props to Commodore for making it work. Anyway, got everything all nicely plugged in here. Here it's got version 3.5 with 12,277 bytes free. I'm going to load up a program now, and I'll be with you in a second. And here we have Rockman. Got a rather interesting effect going on here. And the music's not too bad until it gets to the high pitched bit there. Anyway, let's carry on. Ricky Rockman is his name. Collecting diamonds is his aim. Beating the baddies on the way to become a very rich in a day. Do you want to use the joystick? Yes or no? Well, of course I do. Okay, Rockman. Apologies for the poor camera angle, but anyway. Yeah, it's got a very fluid control. And now I'm stuck. Oh, that's brilliant. Somebody help me! Oh, brilliant. Well, while I'm in this position, I may as well talk about the graphics. The graphics aren't too bad, actually. It's a nice distribution of colours. It's sort of showing the flashing effect on these diamonds here in this. That's inverse, I imagine, on there. Lack of hardware sprites doesn't seem to be particularly apparent, but all the bad guys have just got crushed. Sound is nah, not that great. I just got to wait for the timer to run. Now that's horrible. Anyway, let's try again. Right. Now let's try getting some of these other ones. Oh, stay too long. Game over. Yeah. Well, anyway. That was Rockman. Moving on.